Yep. All right, we're back. We're back. It's Monday. I'm always excited for Monday.
Are you?
Yeah.
Most people, you used to have the Monday blues a lot. Sunday blues?
But you got the whole week ahead of you to crush work, get stuff done, all that, right?
Okay. You got a schedule, a plan?
Got a lot to do this week. We got a lot of content to edit, screen, get out, all that kind of stuff, right?
And we're preparing people. We'll be at AmFest for anyone who will be there.
Yes. So people should...
you can only get on a wait list now.
Is that right? It's sold out.
Yep.
So for those that don't know, America Fest is Turning Point USA's large conference. They do it every year. It's in Phoenix, and it's a big event. I think they had, 50,000 people a day or something. It's like, I could be off, but it's a lot.
Oh,
that's a huge conference center.
It is.
And then, of course, Trump spoke last year. I don't know if he'll be back. They wouldn't announce it even if he was, but he was there last year. Given how much work Turning Point Action did for his campaign, it seemed fitting. And I suspect there'll be a couple of big speakers. We know the speaker list, so you can go to AmFest. You search AmFest, right? And it'll come up. But a lot of the big ones are going to be there. We know Tucker is going to be there, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, JD Vance, Matt Walsh, Riley Gaines, like all sort of a lot of those big name conservative influencers. Personalities will be there. I don't think Candace Owens will be there.
No, she's not on the list.
She's not.
I wish she were.
Yeah. It would be good for her to be there. Obviously, yeah, but there's been some drama with her and Turning Point lately. That's a whole other topic, maybe.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So today what we were going to talk about is individual learning plans, aka giving preferential treatment and essentially handicapping the education system for kids that have challenges. And just kind of talking through that, like, is that fair? Is it not fair? And I think there's probably good arguments both ways. But a lot of this was put in place around the No Child Left Behind. And these programs have grown incredibly to where now, like, the amount of kids that are on these special needs programs is huge. Meanwhile, at the same time, literally like every statistic in our education system is declining in terms of kids' aptitude, ability to read, reading standards, math, scores on SATs, ACTs, and all of that are declining. And so you have to wonder, like, with this No Child Left Behind, if it's just No Child Left Behind because we're going to lower the standards down to a point where no child is left behind, or are we really helping, like, pull them forward? And so there's probably a mix, but yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
And I researched that it started with the IDEA Act in 1975.
Okay.
Which is pretty much the beginning of Individual Disability Education Act, I believe. And then it's pretty much every 10 years it's been reevaluated, which they say needs more money and more resources. So it's just been getting bigger and bigger. You mentioned the No Child Left Behind. That was started in 1990. And I believe it was called, or actually, yeah, that's an NCLB. And then something in the early 2000s was, again, the IDEA Act, but they added another acronym in it saying we just need to screen those teachers harder. And
yeah,
it's honestly,
so isn't it interesting?
It's a failure,
to me,
in my opinion.
We've talked about these programs and stuff multiple times, but like, we invest money into whatever it is, homelessness, single mothers, and invariably the problem gets worse when we put money into it. Isn't that weird?
Well, I don't think that's the intention.
No, it's not the intention, but it's the outcome.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you were to ask me, why is that? I would say it's because the intention is good, but when you just give people stuff, it actually doesn't change the underlying behavior or issue or root cause, right? And then it just encourages more people to say, oh, like, I can do this and get this benefit. So then the problem actually gets worse. Like, homelessness is a good one. Build homes for people. They're like, oh, okay, great. More people are like, I can get a home?
For
Sweet,
free?
sweet. Single mothers, like, gosh, we started doing that, and now a lot of people file to be a single mother,
Yeah.
and then we also wonder about like all the fraud that brings into the system. I personally see people that do not live as single mothers,
Right.
and they don't document being married, even though they're with a long-term partner,
Right.
so they can keep getting assistance from the government.
Yeah.
And so let's get back to education, though, because I digress. And so this kind of sparked with us, and maybe we should get an educator on the show that can talk about this. I think most of them cannot because it would be really taboo. But I would be interested to get a little bit more inside scoop. However, what sparked this is our son came home and he said, well, yeah, there's several kids in our class. They get taken out. They go to a special room, or some of them stay in there and they get extra time on the test. And then the teacher will come by and look at their answers and be like, are you sure about this one? Are you sure about that one? Essentially encouraging them to change their answers or rethink it. That, a lot of the kids in the class don't get. And some kids get to go to a special room and take the test. Some kids get to take it. They get to have somebody else read them the questions and then take the test. So there's various ways that they get equal playing field, is the way that they term it. But ultimately, they get these advantages for whatever disability or handicap that they have. But at the end of the day, their grade doesn't have an asterisk next to it.
Right.
Their test scores don't have an asterisk next to it saying, this child had advantage or disadvantage, level playing field, that hence, handicap advantage.
Yeah.
So, and colleges don't see it. High schools that you might be applying for don't see that you're getting that in your middle school. They don't have to divulge that.
So are you saying they should divulge it?
Of course. It would be like, here's an analogy. It's a sports analogy, but golf. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and I will go and play golf.
Mm-hmm.
I will maybe play the tournament tees or the championship tees, and you will play the ladies tees.
Mm-hmm.
And if we shoot the same score, which we still don't, but if we did, would you say that your golf game is equal to mine?
I would jokingly.
Yes.
Yes.
But it would not be.
No.
Because if we played the same tee, so it's kind of the same thing. They're playing a different tee box, right?
Yep.
You've got the kids that get no special.
They're handicapped. They get no strokes.
Yes, they get no stroke. They're playing from the championship tees. They get no strokes. And then you've got other kids that are maybe playing different tees, maybe even getting shots or a handicap. And so all of that, I get it, like is intended to level the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like now you don't know. You get 10 kids that come out of a class with an A. You don't know which one like played from the tournament tees.
Yeah. Well, I guess if we go more specific into this, like what qualifies for an individual education plan, honestly?
Well, yes, because we know that parents seek this out. If you go to a therapist or the right doctor, a lot of these things, they're difficult to objectively test for.
Right.
And so if you go to the right doctor and say the right things, they'll give you a written plan, and then you go and get extra time on exams. And that can help, especially if you're trying to get into like a high level prep academy, high school prep academy. We know this happens here in our area because there's a couple of very, let's say, prestigious preparatory academies, and they have test, qualifications and grades and all of that. So,
well, they're like early SAT, ACT type things.
Yeah, but their grades really matter as well in junior high. So this helps them get good grades so that they can potentially qualify to get into these better opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
well, let me just break it down. I was looking up the percentage. The highest percentage who does the IEPs is it's just says specific learning disabilities.
Yeah.
And then in parentheses, dyslexia, reading, writing, and math difficulties. Guess what? I had trouble doing math, and I didn't get an IEP, nor did I ever hear about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Probably because my parents were like, too bad.
Well, this is what we've heard, not on the record, but from some instructors at the school, is basically like if you have a hard time with a subject, you can get an IEP.
Yeah. Which that's not fair.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think about it like
you said you had trouble like focusing on your reading.
I did not enjoy reading. I wasn't a reader, didn't read fast. I mean, I can read, but like but I was always much more interested in science and math, and of course then I studied engineering, and so I was just struggle with that, but I knew that. And so
you would plan ahead?
Yes, I had to plan accordingly. I was very thoughtful in terms of how I would take exams. I would focus on my strengths first, right? Short questions, short answers, quantitative math stuff. I try to knock those things out. Anything like reading problems that had like a lot of reading comprehension to them, I would typically save towards the last. So then I would optimize my chances of getting a good test score.
Okay.
And so now I just came to that conclusion because I lived in a world of reality where I'm like not going to get extra help. And I actually think that helps kids. So in my case, for example, like that helped me adjust in terms of how I'm going to have to live or work in the real world when I get older, because I'm not going to get advantages at work when we've got a deadline to meet for some customer requirement.
Yeah. Or like, honestly, are some of these IEPs because the kid does not like the subject? Like, I didn't like history, and so that's a lot of reading.
Yeah. And you have to wonder how much of it is nature versus nurture. Did they actually have a brain condition that just, that like gives them a harder time doing something? Or did their parents just not stress school? Or did they let their kid just sit on an iPad for the first 10 years of their life?
Right.
And what does that do to a child's development? I don't know. But I don't know. I guess I think I'd like to hear more about what you found, because I think that obviously we want to help kids be successful.
Right.
But part of that is actually struggling and working around your challenges, turning your strengths on and turning your challenges into, things that you can work with. And so I think that is like what teaches them more than just getting extra time or having somebody read the test to them, because in the real world, they're not going to get those advantages. And what else did you want to share about some of the stuff you found?
I really wanted to say, like, what's the most common disability for an IEP? And those were the ones, which is honestly, it's like they don't like the subject. Yeah. That's what I get out of it.
Right.
The next one, which is even like almost 15% less, is speech or language impairements. Okay, I get like that. Could be, but also that could be because is your kid sitting on an iPad? Like, are you not talking to your kid? Remember we would let Will watch Curious George?
Yeah.
And we picked up on him like not really talking to us.
Yeah.
And we were like, maybe that could have been anyway.
Yeah.
The next one then, which is about 5% less, is chronic illness, ADHD, which those are people, I think, abuse that also.
Yeah.
Then it's autism, which we've talked, everyone will be autistic in about 15 years.
We got a post coming out on that. But yeah, at the current rate of autism, everybody in America will be autistic by 2060.
That's a disability. Developmental delays, which that can happen. Intellectual disabilities. I mean, I even say sometimes I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Emotional disturbances, which I guess would be like
it's
home.
Almost
I don't know. It's almost a joke.
We diagnose so many things.
Yeah. You probably have a problem. I got a problem. Let's just apply.
Why can't we just look at it as like strengths and weaknesses? I think there are people that actually have mental disabilities. Okay. Yeah. And so then this sort of waters that down.
I feel bad for them. They're the ones who need it. And then all these other low lives come in here and take that away.
Yeah.
So they're ruining the system, in my opinion.
Exactly. It's the people that want to be victims that are harming the ones that actually are like challenged, because they definitely exist. Like those people are definitely in the system and they need help.
Like, why would a parent
want their kid to be on one of these programs?
I
even
don't
even
understand that. I'm
like,
sorry if I am offending people.
I mean, our kids they have strengths and weaknesses,
Mhm.
and I would say, like, if we wanted to, we could have one of them probably qualify for a part of like this program. But
We
I
could, but
I
they
do
don't
not
need
believe
it.
in this.
No.
He's gonna have to live in the real world.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to learn to adjust for the things that he's good at and the things that he's not good at,
Mhm.
and that will teach him more than somebody giving him extra time.
Right.
And so I just think that's what kids need to be focused on. And then I think we're doing a terrible disservice to colleges and employers out there, because if they don't know, for example, that they have a student coming out that has, let's say, two students have the same grade
Right.
or GPA coming out of school, and they
Mhm.
don't know which one got significant advantages on the test versus not. Like, if you're an employer that has, let's just say, a high stress job, maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's a fintech job in New York, or maybe it's a job in customer service where you got to resolve people's problems quickly.
Mhm.
Um, then you need the high aptitude, high talent person,
Mhm.
right? And I debated with Grok. I think you saw me debating with Grok on this a bit, but over and over again, it would say, "Well, it's just leveling the playing field. They have to demonstrate competency of these topics and subjects." And I'm like, "Okay, I get that. However, like, what, like, don't you need to demonstrate like speed and accuracy in the real world?" Yes, and like sports, and so we argued about, like, well, why sports and why not intellectual uh activities and exercises like jobs, for
Mhm.
example. And Grok went on and on, and so I asked, like, where are you getting all this from? And it's because they go
What
specifically
are you
to
get?
academia, reports and journals that have been written saying that, oh, like, yes, we need to do this in the name of sort of, I suppose, DEI or inclusivity, but like, we should be leveling the playing field for everybody. And so then I asked Grok to think about it not based on these things, but as a pure logic play. Does this have merit based outcomes? And even then, it still kind of disagreed with me. I'm like, okay, tell me a job, Grok, that does not require speed and accuracy as its primary objective, and it could not give me one.
Yeah, I don't.
Even at a coffee shop, I want my coffee the way that I ordered it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
If I'm an engineer, I want problems solved. I want my designs done as quickly and as accurately as possible. And in sports, of course, you want the person who can jump and run the fastest, maybe. And so this really sets people up and corporations for a problem, because now you've got people coming in that on paper are the same, but they're not. And so now you find out, as somebody's on the job, that they are not the talented person you thought they were. And now you got to fire them. It crushes their.
No, but then this IEP allows them to have an excuse to be no, they'll be fired, and then they'll say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's not fair because I have a learning disability, and now you use DEI, and now I'm suing your company."
Well, that does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you saw, but in Minnesota, Tim Tampon Waltz um, signed into law that you can take, I think, 5 months a year
Oh, yes.
for paid leave,
Yep. And guaranteed your job back.
guaranteed your job. And so now, like, oh my gosh. And he's like, oh, I trust Minnesotans. Same guy that just had billions of dollars embezzled from his state over to Somalia. Anyway, I trust Minnesotans won't have any fraud. I mean, I can tell you, like, how many people are like, wow, this is cool. What excuse can I find?
Right.
Oh, my dad is sick.
Mhm.
Or gosh, my leg hurts.
They
Or,
say
I'm
they will have
depressed.
rules, but I doubt that.
Yes, it's one more program of creating dependency on the system, and this is going to just be crushing employers. And so now you're going to have to hire two people, because you've got to have redundancy. You can't have people
Yeah.
just stepping out of work every month. So this is going to be a disaster for Minnesota.
Well, so it was actually signed through. I think it starts January 1st.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
And we know people that have businesses in Minnesota. They're not happy about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not because they want to oppress their employees. It's because they need people that are willing and want to work. And they're creating a culture of degeneracy in Minnesota,
Lazy. Yeah. Yeah.
dependency.
Yeah.
These aren't people that get up in the morning now and they're like, God, what can I do to crush it today? They're
Yeah.
like, what can I do to embezzle money over to Somalia or find a way that I can get paid for 5 months without doing any work?
Mm-hmm.
And they already have a massive like drain on the unemployment system up there because it's very seasonal, right? You know, a lot of people are working summer jobs,
Yeah.
and then in the winter it's cold, and so they close down and they don't find other work. They're just like, well, I'll just like bleed off the unemployment system for uh, the winter,
Yeah.
while they're totally capable, able-bodied.
Yeah. I guess it's just, you would think most people would be like, okay, that job's
Minnesota,
over. I'm going to go look for another.
Minnesota's cooked. I mean, it's really sad because I grew up there, and it's an amazing, beautiful state, and there's great people there. And I think in general, people want to work. They want to be useful. They want to have purpose in what they do every day. But they're creating systems that like are pulling people into the vortex of degeneracy. It's okay, but back to education. This is doing the same thing. It's just it's creating a vortex of like merit. It's just sucking merit out of the system.
You would think, like, for example, sports, right? They are based on merit
Yes.
fully.
They're okay with having merit in sports, but not anything else.
It's very weird.
It is weird, right?
I
They're okay with having no race quotas in sports.
Yeah.
But everything else, you got to have race quotas and gender quotas. And so like, but sports, no, they're okay with that being completely merit. So this doesn't understand. I don't fully grasp the argument of like why that wouldn't apply to something that is intellectual versus physical.
Right. And wouldn't you rather, well, I guess you want to be physical and intellectual, but I guess in a business you want people who are more intellectually
Yeah.
apt, right?
Yeah.
So like running a business, doing any of that.
Yeah.
I'm actually at a loss for words. Why our sports do just fine and like here these jobs? No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we need the people who need extra help.
Yes.
So they need their extra help to help our business.
Yes,
and
they're all about diversity in hiring for non physical sports jobs.
Yeah.
But even physical jobs, they hire lower standards, you know, warehousing people, they'll try to diversify that too.
Yeah.
But generally, even like hard labor jobs, you don't see, for example, a lot of women in construction still.
Or
But
why is it
it's also not a highly desired job.
No.
So women don't want equality there. They want it in the C-suite. They don't want it in the construction. They want it in the chief executive office, but not in the construction office. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they want equity. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think IEPs are helping a lot of society.
Yeah.
So
Well, and we see, like, I think what's interesting about this one is we see it or we get word of it from, like, we see it at our school. This is a thing at our school. And we have friends. It came up as a topic with a friend group we were hanging out with the other day. And they said it's prevalent at their schools and in the colleges that they attended now, that it's happening there. And so
it says when I did my research with ChatGPT, which we know is a liberal thing, liberal leaning.
Everything is.
They say even kids like ages 3 through 5, people get IEPs.
Yeah.
Which, again, there are going to be people who need this help, but it's oversaturated. So then it's hard to even believe, like, do you really need it?
Right.
It's almost like you need to do an interview. Although they said you apply for your IEP, and parents can tell what they need, they can tell the school what they need, and then they can reevaluate it through a court system. So it's like it's set up in law, And then if you have to change it, you have to go to the court to actually change it.
Wow.
But you would think as you're developing, it would change. You wouldn't be like a dumb F all your life, right? You're going to be learning and growing.
Yeah.
So
You'd
to
think
have
that they
it
would
set in
want to.
stone is a little odd to me.
You'd think you'd have certain criteria to sort of work your way out of it.
Yeah,
like
like a
physical,
goal.
just like physical therapy, mental therapy. So you have physical therapy where you go and then like once
Oh yeah.
that joint pain or that tendonitis is fixed, then you're good.
But then that's
You do
sports.
exercises.
Don't forget that's sports.
I know.
And they don't fall in the same category.
Well, I think what's important in our view is that we look at merit across the board. And if people need help, they need help. But then that should be noted so that one, the kid can focus on what they need to do to improve themselves and be ready to integrate with society, because they're not going to get special treatment when they grow up. That's just not how it works.
Right.
And so with our kids, we had them come home and tell us like, oh, some kids get answers, they get extra time, et cetera, et cetera. And our message to them was, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are going to be infinitely better off by being challenged and working through it in the normal, kind of path.
Yeah.
Versus getting handouts and extra help.
Which
That's going to be better for you. I said, and I talked to our oldest about it. I said, imagine when you go to a job, you and so, who's going to do better at the job?
Mm-hmm.
And so don't worry about it. It'll all, equal out over time. But I think that's the right mentality for kids because they can't control what's happening at their schools. Yeah. But as parents and community members, we should be digging into this and saying, come on, what's going on?
You should be rethinking. Yeah. Do you really need it? Are you really helping your child? Some people I think you need to rethink it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. This was great. We will sign off.
Okay. Peace.
Okay.